here with analysis. Texas Senator Ted Cruz. Senator, I've been saying that whatever the Democrats do, it's not going to matter because the same failed policies will be in place. This entire party has been radicalized, and there are no moderate Democrats that exist. It's an extinct species.
Look, sadly, that's right. I think the odds are about 80% that they're going to pull the cord on Joe Biden. I think his cognitive disabilities are so enormous now. You're seeing the New York Times bail on him. You're seeing NBC bail on him. You're seeing Nancy Pelosi bail on him. You're seeing George Clooney bail on him. I think they're going to pull the cord. But it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if they replace Joe Biden with Michelle Obama or they replace Joe Biden with Kamala Harris. They all support the same disastrous policies: out of control spending and debt that is driving inflation, and open borders. Look, it was really striking as I was listening to your monologue. The Joe Biden open borders, he opened up the border, but it was Kamala Harris who was the border czar, who presided, if you can use that word, over 11.5 million people invading this country, the worst illegal immigration in our nation's history. And Sean, every single week we see another American murdered, another child raped, another person assaulted by violent illegal immigrants that Joe Biden and Kamala Harris and the Democrats are letting go. And that is the policy of every Democrat in the Senate today.
And you're introducing legislation about this brave little girl, Jocelyn. And as you know, I interviewed her mother and her grandfather on this program, and you were on with them. And I'm glad you're doing that, Senator. Tell us about it.
Well, I sat down this weekend with Jocelyn Nungary's mom, Alexis, and with Jocelyn's grandfather, Kelvin. And the agony they're facing, that beautiful 12-year-old angel who was viciously assaulted and murdered by 2 illegal aliens that Joe Biden and the Democrats had apprehended and that they released, they let go. And it is tragic. It is horrific. It is the worst nightmare for any parent. And what's infuriating is it was utterly preventable. And so this week I'm introducing the Justice for Jocelyn Act. The Justice for Jocelyn Act I've drafted working with the family, Jocelyn's mom, working with her grandfather. And it is designed to prohibit the federal government from releasing illegal aliens if there are any detention facilities available, if there are any beds available. When this administration released those murderers, there were 3,000 empty beds that they could have put them in, but they just let them go. And so the Justice for Jocelyn Act says if there's a single empty bed, you have to fill it. You have to pursue every means possible to detain someone who's here illegally. If anyone's released, they have to be on an ankle monitor at all times. And it also mandates, and this is actually an idea Jocelyn's grandfather came up with, it mandates if anyone is released with an ankle monitor that they have a curfew from 10 p.m. to 5 a.m. They're not allowed to leave the house, because when these 2 monsters targeted that little girl, it was late at night. And we can prevent this by not releasing violent illegal aliens.
Let me ask you about the SAFE Act passed in the House today. Why won't Democrats codify into law a vote where illegal immigrants can't vote? Why are they against voter ID? Why are they against other integrity measures like signature verification? I would think that they want integrity in our elections. Clearly, they do not. Why?
Yeah, look, sadly, they don't. You know, a decade ago, you could get some degree of bipartisan agreement on voter fraud and election integrity. What has happened in the last decade is unprecedented, which is one of the 2 major parties, the Democrat Party, has decided that voter fraud is good for them. They affirmatively want voter fraud. The SAFE Act is a simple common sense. It prohibits illegal aliens from voting in federal elections, and the Democrats are party line opposed to it. Chuck Schumer and Joe Biden and Kamala Harris, they're all opposed to it. Why? Because the 11.5 million illegal aliens that Joe Biden and the Democrats have let in, they want them to vote because they think and believe they will vote for Democrats. They will vote for these open border policies. And so they're willing to look the other way at the people who are dying. Day after day after day, people are dying. But for them, it is all about power. This should be real simple. If you're a U.S. citizen, you have a right to vote. If you're not a U.S. citizen, if you're an illegal alien, it is illegal for you to vote. And yet the Democrats want to do everything they can to facilitate that election fraud.